Hey, APUSH people, we have another edition for you today. This one is on Metacom's or King Philip's War, and this is specifically mentioned in the revised editions. This is one of several examples of conflicts between Native Americans and colonists in period 2, so make sure you are familiar with this video. At the end, we got a practice short answer question for you. Alright, so let's take a look and see what it says. Key concept 2.1, Roman numeral 3, letter E. British conflicts and American Indians over land, resources, and political boundaries led to military confrontations such as Metacom's War, also known as King Philip's War, and we'll talk about why, in New England. So the causes are listed for you there. It's pretty much over land and resources. All right, so key ideas before the war. We have a Native American named Massasoit. He was the leader of the Wampanoag Indians, and he maintained peace with the New Englanders. And we're going to focus, this video focuses on the Wampanoags Indians. And here is Massasoit down here interacting with various colonists from New England. On a side note, another Native American from this tribe was instrumental in teaching New Englanders how to farm, especially when it comes to corn. So they had positive relations early on with each other. And we'll see why that kind of falls apart. Now, Massasoit's son, Metacom, he was called King Philip by the colonists. That was kind of his English name. So it is the exact same person. When you see Metacom, that is also King Philip. Don't be confused by that, please. He becomes chief in 1662. So like his father, he sought to continue living in harmony with the colonists and getting along with them. However, colonial encroachment, everybody right now, make sure you know this word encroachment. My students, please circle this for me, encroachment. Very important word. You can use it in short answer questions or writing. It'll really strengthen your writing. It means to come onto somebody's land. So the colonists are coming onto the land of these Native Americans, including colonists from Plymouth. Now, Metacom and the natives, they're not going to like this. They're going to want to keep some of their autonomy and keep the colonists from encroaching on their land. By the mid-1670s, natives were vastly outnumbered by the colonists, 50,000 to 20,000. So the war begins in 1675 when 3 Wampanoag Native Americans were hanged in Plymouth. Metacom, he allied himself with neighboring tribes and they attacked towns in New England. And here you see an early painting of this war. Initially, Metacom and the Native Americans were successful and colonists were pushed far back towards the East Coast, towards the Atlantic Ocean. However, colonists soon turned the tide and they sided with the Iroquois Indians, who provided vital aid to the colonists and eventually defeating the Wampanoag Indians. And this aid that the Iroquois Indians provided actually developed into an alliance in New York. And we'll talk more about the Iroquois when we get to the French and Indian War. So what are effects of the war? Well, in 1678, the war ended. Metacom was captured and killed. And here's a picture. You can actually go to the site where Metacom was captured. I would like to go there someday. And colonists retaliated by destroying native villages. So there was lots of villages on both sides and dwellings that were destroyed. And many native men, women, and children were either killed or were sold into slavery in the West Indies, including Metacom's wife and son. So for many Native Americans, life drastically changed after the war. So what's the significance of it? Well, the war reinforced the image of natives being seen as savages in the eyes of many colonists. And here is a painting of Metacom from the 1700s that kind of reinforces this image. And Native American resistance decreased in New England. This is very important to know. This is really one of the last instances of major resistance against New Englanders by Native Americans. And colonists continue to expand on native land after the war. So this common theme of encroachment on land will continue after this war. So some test tips to finish up. For multiple choice and short answer, definitely know the causes and impacts and try to connect this result to another time period. Maybe you'll see a question about it, connecting it to another time period or battle for Native Americans. For essay questions, you'll never see one about Metacom's war, but you could likely see one about European colonial relations with natives. So you could tie this in. For the synthesis point, you could connect this to another time period. For example, after the Battle of Wounded Knee, in which the natives lost in 1890, there was little resistance to the American government afterwards, and they were no longer a significant military threat, just like the Wampanoag Indians were no longer a threat to New England colonists. All right, your short answer question. Metacom's King Philip's War was one of the bloodiest wars between Native Americans and New England colonists. A, briefly explain one cause of Metacom's or King Philip's War. B, briefly explain one short-term impact of the war. C, briefly explain one long-term impact of the war. And remember, you must have 2 to 3 sentences per letter. So 2 to 3 for A, 2 to 3 for B, 2 to 3 for C. Check the description for a link to potential answers. But you probably don't need them. You're an expert on this. You're going to do great. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please check the description for other helpful videos. Good luck in May and all your tests throughout the year. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And check out APUSHreview.com for many sources, including a new short answer question every Monday. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a good day.